It's time for our tale of the tape. It's Roy Jones Jr. He tipped the scales at 72 kilos, 180 centimeters tall, with a reach of 188. Up against them, Roy Jones Jr., Pensacola's finest, one of the great young champions in boxing. Today, he's 24 years old, 5 foot 11 inches tall, with a reach of 74.
Nobody knows who's going to win. You can have an argument for the winner on both sides, but this is that fight.
It's the incomparable Roy Jones Jr. He won world titles at 4 different weight classes, including the heavyweight championship of the world. So here is Roy Jones Jr. from Pensacola, Florida. I'm from about 30 miles away, Bay Minette, Alabama. I've been hearing about this guy for over 10 years, and boy, has he backed up all that hype.
Oh, pure bad blood.
This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing. Fighting out of the red corner, from Pensacola, Florida, here is a middleweight, a super middleweight, a light heavyweight, and a heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. Fighting out of the blue corner, introducing the newly crowned champion, holding a record of 22 wins, no losses, 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the young, undefeated, and newly crowned IBF middleweight champion of the world, known as Captain Hook, introducing Roy Jones Jr.
One of the hottest tickets around. It's standing room only for this, our main event.
If you know you can fight, you don't need a crowd, you don't need anything apart from that opponent in the opposite corner.
Under the bright lights here for this one, really good matchup, and we're hoping for a really good fight. So here we go, should be a good one. Couldn't land that jab. Aiming for the chin. He's headhunting right now. Got him there. Nice counter. There was so much hype surrounding this match, I wonder if it can actually live up to the hype.
Situations like this, Todd, will either make or break a fighter, because the expectation from the thousands of people here, of the millions of people around the world, people like you and I sat here expecting everything and anything, can break a man or make a man.
Fighters landing in these exchanges, judges going to have a tough job.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
The perfect counter lands. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Big hook. Good thing it didn't land. Good counter punching. You'd like to see more jabs. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Talk about Roy Jones in that last round. That was almost a 10-8 round. Complete dominance.
Dominance with...
Well, we've just taken a big breath, and here we go again. Last round, complete domination. Let's see what we have in store for us here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing, because you've won that hands down.
punch caught him clean. Sometimes when you're fighting a counter fighter, the rounds can get a little boring. You get trigger shy because you know if you throw a punch, one is coming right back at you.
Todd, I understand what you're saying, but you've got to be on this. You've got to be on it. You've got to be a pro. You've got to think right. Concentrate.
They exchange punches. That counter shot lands. Good counter punch. Those who thought this would be a mismatch, you are sorely wrong.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Defense is not an option for these two. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. He threw a punch and just got countered. So much for boxing. This is a fight. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Talk about Roy Jones in that last round. Talk about a one-sided 3 minutes. We just saw it. And there's the bell to start round 3. That last round was huge for him, Johnny. How does he keep the momentum going?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
There's a counter shot. When are we going to see a jab from these two? Well done with that counter shot. Look at the footwork, the hand speed. This is the best that the middleweight division has to offer. Catch and shoot. Some nice exchanges from both men in this round.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Those counter punches have to hurt. And this is a you hit me hard, I'll hit you hard type of fight. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talk about Roy Jones in that last round. After what we saw in that last round, it's pretty obvious who has the advantage. Here we go in round 4. Who's going to land the first big shot? They've got all the momentum on their side after that last round. Let's see what they do here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Throws the jab, but does not score. The work rate is down. The head isn't moving as well, Johnny. Fatigue is starting to set in.
Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want.
The jab not finding its target. Beautiful counter punch. A very competitive round here so far.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Perfect counter shot. Missing with the left hook. Well, Johnny, you know there's a fine line between being aggressive and being too aggressive. How does he exploit that?
I've seen some aggressive fighters like this, and they are a nightmare. If you are not fit, that is the worst place to be, having second thoughts in the ring.
Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Roy Jones. Back into the fray here in round 5. After a really strong round, let's see if they can finish the job.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Stamina is off the charts. It looked great live. How will it look again on slow motion replay?
A shot from the gods took him out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So they're back on their feet, but let's see how much they have left in the tank.
The corner need to think nice and sharp. They know their fight. They know what their fight is capable of doing and what their fight can and cannot take. This is going to be a tough decision to make.
Need to pick things up here in the second half of the round.
Not the best start, but you know what? The cornermen now, it's down for them doing their job. Get through the round, regroup, like freshen up, boom. Different tactics.
Deciding to let it all hang out here in this round. He's putting the pedal to the metal, but has to be careful that he doesn't run out of gas. Roy Jones Jr. in trouble. Final 10 seconds here, and this has not been his round for sure. What a huge momentum swing that's going to be. Here we go in the 6th round. His eyes look pretty clear here, Johnny. How do you think he's going to do after being knocked down in the last round?
What a knockdown. 1 minute. You need 1 hour to get over a shot like that. Now it's down to conditioning. Now it's down to mental strength and preparation. It's how you are going to deal with this.
What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
Middleweight always gives us a class. If you've got 2 class middleweight fighters, you are in for action. I'm quite sure right now, if you know your boxing, there's a certain fighter, I would just say marvelous, but some fighters were unbelievable middleweight.
Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. That hook just can't find the target. Throw a shot, they get countered. That uppercut's blocked. Energy and endurance are not an issue for this fighter who continues to be aggressive as the rounds wear on.
The middleweights are the best you can ever come across. Obviously, the glamour is a heavyweight. The middleweight, it's the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace. You can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. You know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous. That is what writes our history books.
This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Now you start wondering how much work the... And there's the bell for round 7. They really seemed to exhaust themselves last round. Let's see what they have left.
An amazing pace and tempo set in the last round. Can you keep this up? Me personally, I don't think that's possible. And if they can, their training, their conditioning would have been ridiculous, like they're in the army. But these guys, if they can keep up this pace, we are in for a great night.
How about that time counter shot? The straight right just misses. Which fighter will say no mas? And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Endurance is becoming a factor. You can see this fighter having a hard time getting out of the way of punches, and they're not throwing as many on their own.
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
That punch landed. That jab misses. Trying to land that jab. Both men step back for just a moment. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. You've heard the old phrase. There's the bell to start round 8. Let's see how much recovery they saw there in the last minute.
Exerted a lot of energy in the fight so far. Now they're shattered. This is what you call championship rounds. If you have done the work, slept right, ate right, prepped right, I'm expecting you to get through this. If not, if you've cheated, the ring can be the loneliest place in the world.
In the build-up to this fight, Johnny, this power puncher told us, listen, I don't care if it's round 1 or round 12, I've got enough power and confidence to end this in one shot.
They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful.
Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. You can't throw out a lazy jab in this fight. You're going to get knocked out. So much for being a good sport here. They're going to taunt. The old adage is, no matter how much speed you've got, timing beats speed.
Some fighters are just gifted with such hand speed, footwork, movement. They are gifted. They are the chosen few.
Incredible work rate. I think that will look even more dramatic in slow motion.
Even I've got to see that again. Where did that come from?
Some might have thought it was a little bit closer, but in the end, the referee...